This is my new monitor stand. As you can see, it looks great on my desk and is really functional and useful. 2 weeks ago, it looked like this. Or actually, more like this. These old bed slats were about to be thrown in the skip, but I brought them home. As I sat here in my workshop thinking about whether I could make something useful with them, it suddenly hit me. You see, after over 30 years of making things, I've learned that the most useful projects often don't need to be the most complicated or even use the most expensive materials. So in the next 10 minutes, I'll show you exactly how I built this, including a tip that might just save your next project from disaster. I love using recycled wood whenever I can. Not only is it a great way to save money, but it's good to reuse something that was going to end up in landfill or be used as firewood. I recently remodeled my home office, and while it's been working well, I haven't really been happy with the position of my monitor, so I started looking at some desktop stands online. I was amazed at how expensive they can be, starting at about £50, some of them up to £200 or even more. So even if you don't need this project for your own home, it would be a great way to make some extra cash by selling it on Facebook Marketplace. I have a detailed set of plans with a cutting list that you can download in the description below. First, we need to turn these boards into panels for our project. I start by sorting out the nicest boards to be used where they'll be most visible, here for the top and front of the unit. We'll start by putting all the boards across the jointer to give us a smooth square edge on each one. Then I'll lay out the boards, applying glue and clamping them together. Once the panels are dry, we can run them through the thicknesser to bring them down to 12mm thick. That's about ½ inch. Then we'll cut them to final size. First to width, and then to length. Cutting the rough end off first before measuring and making the final cut. Now for that tip I mentioned. When you have a few pieces in a project, it's a good idea to lightly mark them up with a pencil to keep track of them all. With similar sized components, it can be easy to mix them up, and one day you're looking for that drawer front only to realise you've used that piece as one of the side panels. Don't ask me how I know this. Now we'll make the parts for the drawers. Because we're cutting off small pieces, I'm fitting a 0 clearance plate into the table saw to make sure all the cuts are properly supported. We'll raise the blade so it's the same height as the thickness of the board. Then I move the table saw fence to the same width as the 6mm MDF bases I'm putting in the drawers. And then run the drawer components through to make a groove 6mm from the edge and 6mm deep along the bottom of the fronts and sides and along the edges of the drawer fronts. Then we'll flip the piece 90 degrees and cut off the 6mm strip, leaving a rebate or rabbet 6mm by 6mm along the bottom edge of the fronts and sides. Lastly, we'll turn the drawer fronts upright and raise the blade to 12mm to cut the rebates on the edges of the drawer fronts. Now we can glue up the drawer boxes and secure with nails. Once the sides are assembled, we can mark up the drawer bases. Cut them to size and glue and pin them in place. Then we'll put the drawbacks in, gluing and pinning as we go. Small drawers like this don't need any fancy joinery. The glue is more than strong enough to hold them together. The pins are there to hold it all in place while that dries. I I decided to use pocket hole screws to fix the two sides and the two interior uprights to the base of the unit. Pocket holes are great for things like this where the fixings won't be seen. Then we can make the base by mitering the four corners to size. After cutting the miters, glue and clamp the base together using a strap clamp, which is ideal for miter joints as it gives equal pressure to all four corners at the same time. Once that's dry, we can align the bottom of the unit to the base and secure with some glue and pins. Now, some of you may be worried about wood movement here, but honestly, it's a small project and it will probably last a lot longer than I want to use it for. But as always, with your projects, you make it the way you want to. This is just how I did it. It's not how you must do it. Then holding the side pieces in place, we can fix them with the pocket hole screws. First one end, then the other. I use a drawer to get the exact distance for the interior uprights. The interior uprights are fixed in place with the pocket hole screws as before. We'll test fit the drawers to make sure all is well, and then we can fit the top, using just glue this time as I don't want any nail holes to show. I'll weigh the top down until the glue dries. Once it's dry, we can sand everything down to 180, going through the grits from 80 upwards. Marking up a piece with pencil is a good way to see where you've already sanded. You should keep doing this until all the pencil marks are erased in one pass of the sander, so you know that the piece is evenly flat. Then go up a grit and repeat until you've done them all. Now we'll mark up the drawers for the handles. Once everything's marked up, we can finish the project with whatever product you prefer. I use some beeswax on mine because it's easy to apply and slightly darkens the pine to a nice finish. Here I'm using some antique brass style cup handles, but use whatever style suits you best. Then I fit the handles for the final time. And we're done. Here's the finished piece on my desk. As you can see, the space in the middle is perfect to store my laptop, and the drawers add extra storage too. But what if you want to use screws in your next project and you don't know what size or type to use? Well, this video here will tell you exactly what you need to know.